Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of War of the Visions. This is the Ultimate Chi. With the new update in the Awakening system, we're probably going to see some non-UR units being used. And here's a list of UR units that I think are good. They're in no particular order in terms of like who's better than who, but it's really just based on what you need. I'll break them down to support, DPS, and tank, and basically just pick the one that suits your situation. So we'll start off with some honorable mentions here. I think Zazon is a good one. This is a very good troll manual PvP pick. Double quicken Zazon is a thing. Between his, I think he can get up to 6 move with D-Floor, and then he'll just first turn get quickened and then run in Steel Heart you, and you're pretty screwed. And if he gets double quickened, that's 2 Steel Hearts, and you're basically doing you're playing a 1v5. That's not good. And that's really his one gimmick. There aren't that many other gimmicks that he's good for. I mean, he has Steel Time, but really Steel Heart is the main thing he's good for. And Steel Heart is good for the tower as well. In the same vein as the Steel Heart, the second honorable mention is Mia. Has the ability to also Steel Heart, but she doesn't have as much movement as Zazon does. However, her Steel Heart also comes with Mug. She also has Mug, so you can use her for those weekend Gil farms where you send in a Mug team to mug all the Gil snappers. So those are the two things that she's usable for: Steel Heart and Mug. Steel Heart is always very good in the tower. And I think the last honorable mention is going to be Nasha. Where is she? Keep getting her mixed up with Miluke. Nasha. Pretty awesome tank. Has 25 plus HP. That's really good. Her skills, basically anything's pretty much standard paladin. And if you're going to run her as tank, you'll run her as the paladin variant. But she also comes with white mage. Unfortunately, the thing with this game is tanks are balanced in a sense where their hate generation ability is in their sub kit, so they have to be the sub kit in order to have the tanking ability. So they can't be healer and tank, or tank and DPS at the same time. And that's one of the I guess that's a balanced design by the game, but if you're going to use her to tank, you can't really use any of the white mage skills. Although I think she did get shafted on her white mage kit, because there's no Curaga with whole life. I think Regain is the worst one out of the 3. Just because Agrius has a stronger version of it. Okay, now on to the, by the way, Miluk, I believe Nasha, there is a picture of Nasha that broke the HP, cap in JP with the EX job. So that is a consideration. She's not weak. She can get plus 37% HP. That's pretty insane. She can have a ton of HP, and just be that really meaty tank. Onto the actual list. First one, we're just gonna go with Shadowlynx here. Nice and safe pick. 4 move plus the evade, and then you also get illusion from Samurai for more evade. This is the classic evade character right here. She's the poster girl of evade. More so than Kitong and Vanera, because she has the ability to give them evade with illusion. So generally ran as Samurai sub, Ninja, and then Samurai sub, and then Ninja's ability, Dream Within a Dream, Doesn't do a lot of damage, but this is really good for raids. So a lot of Dark Slash teams run her because of the Dream Within a Dream, and you can run her with Blade Soul for more evade. Okay, you can run him with Blade Soul for more evade, and Shadow Runner also increases your evade. So her, Vanera, and Ketone are your three pure evade units. Once you run her as Samurai, she runs like Hien, Night Veil. These are all really good for PvP. Those are your kind of damaging skills because your ninja job doesn't offer that much damaging skills. Shuriken is kind of but Shuriken doesn't offer like elemental damage based on the photo. So we're gonna this. This is once again, this list is not there's no order in this list. So I'm just gonna go with the DPS first, and then the tanks, and then the support. So the second one that you should level is Salire. There we go. Thunder Mage. There is Skull, by the way, but this would work for a Thunder team, also for a Mage team, because that Skull card is out with the 25 Man-Eater, and she's basically Rosa with the 25 Man-Eater for magic. Her master ability is pretty insane too, plus 15 magic attack, 20% magic damage. And she is one of those units that you can run black and white mage on, and then run mage counter, or run magic counter. You get flare in your main job, and you get holy in your sub job. You're gonna hit like a truck. She doesn't have Kyoraga, but that's okay. The thing you'll notice about this game is there are there's 4 rank 12 skills. Generally, one of them is better than the others. Basically, the 4 rank 12 skills for White Mage is Full Life, Kyoraga, Holy, and Regain. Regain is the one that's trash. Full Life and Holy are great. Kyoraga is kind of let's say Kyuraga's been power crept because of calculators, and just put it at that. Kyoraga is still very useful, but there really isn't a power crept version of Holy yet. Not until Yuna comes out, and Full Life is very hard to power creep. Well, there is a Rise, so yeah, they're not getting power crept until Yuna comes. Anyways, so she comes with automatic. She comes with 100% attack, ton of magic damage on top of 20 Man-Eater on magic. So you can run her with those. You can run her with Yuna. I mean, well, I guess you can, but you can run her with Rosa and just run a pure Man-Eater magic build. That would be interesting. She gets a lot of cool ninja abilities like Shikichi, Shadow Runner. So you can play around with the support abilities. Magic level up, and then either Shikichi or Shadow Runner. Both of them would be good. And considering you can run Shadow Runner, Shadow Runner does open you up to an evade comp if you want to try that. Not that her evade is going to be very top notch or anything, but she does have a support ability that lends itself well to evade. Don't think I guess her agility and luck is okay. It's not insane. Okay, next is the last DPS I'm gonna recommend is probably Vistrelle. This is a weird one, but basically magic resist 15 plus evade 15. He runs well in an evade team. Don't have any crazy glaring weaknesses. In fact, after the magic 15, he's only after the magic 15, he's only gonna be weak to pierce. His skills comes with something like Thief Floor, Self-Sacrifice. These are all pretty crazy. You can run Thief Floor and then Self-Sacrifice, and that way you'll be evadey with the Thief Floor. and then you can run Steel Heart. That's his main gimmick. Steel Heart plus Evade is a really troll comp in what's that called? In manual PvP. And the best thing is Steel Heart is on your main job, so you can go sub job Soldier. For those really annoying evade Drain Force teams, here's an evade Steel Heart team. That's even worse. Imagine how annoying it is to fight that. It's like, oh, I can't hit you, and then you charm my guys. That's just annoying. The only other person that can do that, I believe, is that can do evade Steel Heart build is Caesar. Okay, so that's it for the DPS. We're gonna go on to tanks. I'm gonna start with Ravi here. She's pretty impressive. Like her TMR increases your JP gain. That's interesting. So I guess you can use that to really like level up your character's JP. So I would get that just for the utility of it, and then just throw it on guys that I need to farm. So I would level her just for the TMR. This pays dividends very fast. But she's cool because she's a tank. You can run her in kind of an evade build with the plus 10 evade because she has default evade, and then minus 20 AP consumption is really interesting. And then no real weaknesses except for magic, which is pretty standard for a paladin. But look at this, defloor blades, so both of them lends itself well to evade. So you can really legit run her in an evade build. This would be your option for an evade tank if you ever want to try an evade tank. Stack her up on defense, stack her up on evade, and then have her just like use taunting blade, and then they can't hit you, but she holds threat. That's just really good. Obviously, you can also run her as the thief sub, another Steel Heart. Thunder type tank is rare. There's no UR tank for Thunder, so you can run her as your Thunder tank, or you can run her as a evade DPS, and then just run that same evade Steel Heart thing I was talking about. That's always really annoying. But on top of her being a paladin, oh, that's just makes it way worse, because now you're unkillable on top of freaking evade and Steel Heart. It's like she can probably take like 3 or 4 sure hit attacks other than Holy. If she gets Holy, I think she'll die. But if you get Sharpshoot, you can probably take 3 or 4 Sharpshoots and not die. Okay, next tank is Dario. I missed one for the DPS. Okay, let's see. Dario. Dario is one of the best MR tanks, mage tanks, and pretty cool master ability, very good. TMR is insane. This opens up a lot of options for you with the extra 30% AP gain. No real. He's kind of weak to Fist and Pierce, but that's not by a lot. And he breaks the curse of having to use the sub job for you to be a tank, because he can be main job Spellblade and then sub job Paladin, because he happens to have both of the jobs that have taunting abilities. So that's some added versatility that the other tanks don't get. You can run Spellblade plus Paladin for Taunting Blade, and you can run that effectively because you have that sword TMR. Or you can just run him Spellblade with the taunting spell. Really depends on what you really want to do. Tank magic or tank both physical and magic. With his plus 10 spirit, he can kind of tank plus 10 defense, plus 10 spirit, he can kind of tank both decently well. You can run Providence of Earth on Holy Knight Protection and you'll be fine. You'll have a ton of HP, you'll have an extra 12 defense, extra 12 magic resist. That kind of covers your magic weakness. Or you can have him run Shikichi and then just pick one, either magic or physical defense, and it'll be great. Another thing you can do on him is, I would normally recommend either using Paladin Guard or Magic Guard, but you can be a troll and put Poison Barb, and then anyone that hits you gets poisoned. This is really good for those tank-on-tank duels where it comes down to a slugfest and you just poison them. That's a good way to sneak out a good win. That's only for arena though. In PvP, in manual PvP, no one's really gonna hit you. And then I think the best tank is gonna be Marielle. I think Marielle kind of power creeps Dario a little bit. Mainly because she has auto threat. Area generation is great too. There isn't a lot of area resists. So 10 defense, 10 magic, 10 defense, 10 spirit is good, but 15 area resist I would say is a little bit better, just because of all the weird area of effect stuff that's going around. And it's 15 over 10. And this resists both magic and physical, because there are physical attacks that are AoE. But she has that automatic threat, which means you can't really run her as a healer. But not that you would really want to. Her resists are not as crippling. Same 2 weaknesses as Dario, but she's only weak by 5 versus Dario's 10. She's not immune to. She's not resistant to Steel Heart, which Dario is, but she is resistant to Confuse. So you can really use her to fight Agrius, kinda. No super weakness to stop. Okay. Whoops. Skills. You don't really have to run any of the calculator subs, because if you're running her as a tank, she does not break that curse, so she has to be Spellblade to be a tank. However, the good thing about her is, because of the initial hate, you can kind of use her as an off tank and run something like Spellblade Arithmetician, and she'll kind of be your off tank healer, which is also an unusual thing that you don't see every day. And that's the really cool thing about Dario and Marielle. They don't have to use their sub job in order for them to tank. Marielle, with the innate hate, really helps out. And she has D-floor, so that she can run right up front. She's fast. That's not a thing that normal tanks have. Like, you expect your tanks to be like Mont and Engelbert, to be like super slow, but she's super fast because of for a tank, because she has D-floor. And she can move +4, and she can move +1 with the D-floor. So this is really, really good. So first turn runs right up there, use Taunting Spell, and now you have threat. Or you just run up there and you start using anything else, because you already have threat. Unfortunately, she doesn't have Steel Heart, or else that would be really broken. I don't think any of her thief skills are all that useful, because her only 2 damaging ones are Snipe Dagger and Mug. But they're really close range, and I don't think she'll really get close range if you're going to run her as an Arithmetician. I think even if you run her as Spellblade, she won't get close range, because she'll hit people with Taunting Spell first, and then when they get close range, she'll hit them with the swords. She'll hit them with the sword skills. So this is a very good mix of damage. Other than that, you can really run her for raids. You can run her as Thief. It's a light type unit with slashing damage that has time. That has steal time. Distraught also has that. So that's another thing that Distraught can do. other than Evade and Steel Heart. They have Steel Time for light teams. So for those light slash teams doing raids, this will be useful. Not that there's a lot at the moment, but I guess with the later editions, there should be a ton. I think I missed one of the DPSs, which is Adelard, but technically he's also a support, so I'm gonna run him as the. I'm gonna talk about him as being the first support, but technically he's support and DPS. So we're gonna move on to the supports here. Let's go with Adelard. He's support and DPS. Plus 20 magic is not bad. This TMR is really good for him because there aren't that many swords that give plus magic. The swords that give magic give plus slash for those spell blades. And I don't know why there's so many of them. But anyways, decent magic resist can be run as kind of as like a magic bruiser because you can't really generate hate. Spell reflect. These are all really good. Red mage skills. Jamming thrust. So for DPS, you can run him as like jamming thrust plus any of these. Really, you can kind of run the defense stuff. No one's really gonna run echoing emerald echoes. Is kind of You don't need initial AP because you're red mage. March of the Saints you also don't really need in PvP, so that makes it easy. You only run mage and savior protection. I would say magic reflex is kind of a must. Gonna run him with jamming. The thing with him is you can run him as red mage, jamming thrust and cura. You already have your damage and your heal, and then you can take your pick. White mage comes with Curaga, so that kind of helps. But green mage I think would be very good for raids because you get stuff like Imperil, Shale, Vitalize, Deprotect. He gets all the cool green mage stuff that Freyevia doesn't get. Like Freyevia desperately needs Imperil. But anyways, very useful for this is useful for raids. If you're gonna run a fire raid team, Rain and Adelard, it's probably a good combo. Adelard debuffing them with Imperil. Rain can technically debuff them with Undermine, so he doesn't have to use he doesn't have to wait on Shell and Protect, but Imperil is insane. That's very good for raids. And then for PvP, you just run him with White Mage for the Curaga. Red Mage sub is kind of trash. You're never gonna run Red Mage sub. Next is we're gonna talk about Grace. Grace is probably one of the better healers in the game. She was like second best to Ayaka for the longest time. She's like second best to Ayaka in terms of healer for like the longest time because of her sustainability. She just doesn't die. Comes with full, and she gets all of the best white mage stuff like full life regain, holy, Curaga. She gets all of them, and she gets them all on her main job. So she doesn't even need to run white mage sub. She can run green mage sub for those raid supports and for buffing debuffing, but it doesn't really matter what sub she runs because her main kit is so good. But I guess green mage is probably a little bit better than Lancer because it's really hard for you to get plus pierce damage, on top of which you can't really run magic and you can't really be a caster and a physical DPS at the same time. Another thing about Grace is I think she'll be a good holder for that Runja card. So in case you don't have in case you want the spell man eater, but you don't have a good character to equip it on to take full advantage of the Runja, she's a good character. So you equip the Runja on her, and then you don't even have to go with Lancer. She'll just cast Runja and really do some heavy damage. Next is, and I don't really think I talk a lot I don't think I talked very highly about Ruinja, but I mean Green Mage, but there's this is the third Green Mage in a row. I think Shale is believed to be the best. She's believed to be the best support in the game, even in JP. Her 10 agility makes her super fast. Her decreased activation time is insane. And then you pair that up with speed cast. Basically, she's casting Quicken at half the time. So her Quickens are almost gonna be like instant. It'll be like next turn Quicken, which is insane. She has Steel Heart. If you want to go that cheesy route, you can because most Shales run time mage, but you might be like surprise Steel Heart. That would be very interesting to do, but no one's really gonna run this. But Shale in raids is insane because you can come with any number of things like Steal Time, Quicken Haste, in peril, all of those. And it's awkward that these three are your buffs, so to speak, your 3 debuffs and buffs for Green Mage, and it's funny how that they're all in your sub job. But no one really uses them. They look good on paper, but no one uses them. So for raids, she's really good for the in peril, in peril and steal time. And if the boss is immune to steal time, you have haste and quicken. One of the best time mages because of how fast she is and her master ability reducing the time, the casting time. And she's MR. So those teams that run double quicken Federica in manual PvP, they pick Shale for her low cost, but also for her super quick casting of quicken. So usually it's Shale plus Gilgamesh or Shale plus Phoebe. And this is the reason why I call it a top 10 non-UR units, because Phoebe is the last person and she's not MR. She is probably one of the best. She probably is the best SR character. She's got that similar. She's similar to Shale, in the sense that she gets 20 agility instead of 10. 20% agility instead of 10, and then you get +1 move, which is a really good master ability. But her kit is insane. She gets Hookin in her main job, and then she gets Full Life in her mage sub job. So this is basically, you can think of it as Ayaka with Quicken. That's how crazy she is. And she has speed cast. So you can think of it as Ayaka with Quicken. That's probably a good analogy. She doesn't have Kiraga, so she's not gonna heal as hard as Ayaka. But this is manual PvP, so that's kind of moot. I mean, in arena, healing is a big factor in arena, because the AI will start hitting tanks and you'll need the tanks to heal. In manual PvP, it's very different. In manual PvP, healing is not as big of a factor. For several reasons. One is there's a ton of crystals lying around. You can kind of just grab one of those. And two, no one's really going to hit a tank in manual PvP. So they're going to hit your DPS and they're going to die. The DPS is going to die, or they'll just one-shot your healer. So manual PvP is a lot burstier. There's not really a lot of need for. There's not that much need for Kiraga. If you're gonna heal, it better be instant, or you're gonna die. They'll just kill you before your heal can go off. So having full life in manual PvP is very crucial, and so is having Quicken. Kind of sucks that she doesn't have haste as well on her main job, but you can't really have it all. It's cool that she gets Meteor though. So yeah, Phoebe and Shale are the two best manual PvP supports, especially for any kind of Quicken team. Phoebe for her very low cost. Like her low cost essentially opens you up to that extra 20 cost. Essentially opens you up to an extra UR vision card. And UR vision cards are insane in terms of power, right? There are a lot of people that run that double quicken Federica team. Not going to happen in the next arena season, by the way, because there's no CT manipulation is canceled. But in those kind of limited cost scenarios, this 40 cost opens you up to another URVC. So there are people that are there are two schools with the double quicken bill. You run something like you either run Federica, Gilgamesh, and Shale, or you run Shale, Federica, Phoebe. Shale, Federica, Phoebe allows you to get an extra UR vision card, which is a huge power jump in terms. Whereas the Gilgamesh, because he's double cost, you're basically losing one UR vision card, and you might actually lose a second one because you don't have the cost. So that's why I say like Phoebe is very good for mostly class matches. For free matches, not really going to use Phoebe. I mean, she's viable in free matches, but because free matches doesn't have a cost limit, you can run a better statted quickener like Gilgamesh without penalty. So people just run Gilgamesh. All right, that was the 10. That was your 10 non-UR units that I think you should level, along with 3 honorable mentions that are good for very niche things. If I missed one that you think is good, let me know on the comments below. And thank you all for watching.